Hi everybody, for this week's video I have just a few things that I need to talk about before I get into the topic. The first thing is that I was actually contacted by a television program that is actually based in the UK, or it's on TV in the UK right now if I understood that correctly, and they're making their way over to the US. It's a television show called Employable Me, where they are looking for people with Tourette syndrome and or autism to go on their show. It's a reality show, so I'm not really sure all of the details about it, but it's a reality show where they follow people and try to help people with Tourette syndrome and autism and stuff, and things like that. Try and find meaningful and helpful jobs for them, a job that's going to actually fulfill them and not just something that they have to take because it's the only people that will hire them through Tourette syndrome. I think it's a really cool thing that they're doing, and I think that it could possibly benefit some of the people that I have that watch this. And so if you are interested in that at all, I will be leaving the contact information of the woman who got in touch with me in the description below if you would like to reach out to her and learn more. The second thing is I actually created a new Facebook page just for my Tourette's endeavors, I guess you can call them, where I am going to start posting all of these videos on there and sharing it with the people who follow that page, so I can not only share my videos but share other things about Tourette syndrome as well, and just take one more step in creating more awareness on social media, because who isn't on social media anymore? So I will have the link to that Facebook page as well in the description below, so if you can do me a favor and head on over to that page and give it follow it and give it a like. You'll see all my posts about Tourette syndrome and all the information that I like to share. I will be upping my information sharing and my videos hopefully over this next month, since next month is Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month, so I'm trying to get ready for that and trying to figure out how I want to up my game this year and spreading awareness and making a difference during that month. Anyways, this week's video's topic is about my life in college. After I did my video about my high school life with Tourette syndrome, a lot of people asked me if I could do one about college life, because there was a huge difference between me in college and me in high school. It wasn't that I wasn't open about my Tourette syndrome in college. I wasn't close with anybody in college. I went to Kent State University. And I basically commuted. I went to all of the local branches, and then I eventually just went to I just took classes online to finish out my degree, because I worked full-time and it was the only way to get both in, go to school full-time and work full-time. Now, I want to start by saying that I really do think that my college experience might have been a little different than most, whether it be because of my Tourette syndrome, online classes, or whatever it was, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I hated college. I hated every single part of it. And I went for an English degree because I was hoping an English degree would broaden my horizons, and that it would make me feel more confident in my writing and give me a broader spectrum on finding a job with that degree. And I'm not unhappy that I did it, and I don't regret that I went to college, but I didn't fully enjoy it, but with that being said, I am extremely proud of myself for finishing and for doing it in general. My Tourette's with college, it was hard because, like I said, it wasn't like I made a bunch of friends in college. Like, I didn't live in a dorm where a bunch of people knew me and knew me personally. So I was just in the classrooms, and maybe some people might have seen me tick, but I never really took the opportunity to tell people about it, besides teachers or maybe on message boards when we had to say the one interesting fact about ourselves on the boards or in the classroom. And that's really the only way they got to know me or know that part of me, because it's just hard, like, because I'm open about it, but I don't just go up to somebody and say, hi, my name's Brittany, I have Tourette syndrome. So unless somebody started asking me what I was doing, if and when I was ticking, that was really the only time I got it brought up, or unless I wrote a paper about it, which I did try to take every opportunity to write papers about it, just like I did in high school, because one, I didn't have to do any research, which was nice, and it was just a good opportunity to get the word out there and to show my teachers what Tourette syndrome was. college was difficult for me because, as most of you watching who have Tourette syndrome know, stressing for us is so much different than the average person. For me, when I stress out, my tics skyrocket. They're constant. They're the minute I wake up to the minute I fall asleep. I don't sleep well, and so I am always curious to know if it's because I am taking in my sleep. My OCD gets a lot worse, and I'm just a ticking time bomb, no pun intended. And it was just so difficult because with college, it was just constant stress for 6 years, and it got aggravating because like when I would tell people that I was stressed out and that I was just emotionally and physically drained, they never understood. They tried to say like, oh well, yeah, college is really hard, but what are you gonna do? Blah blah blah, or they would question why I was physically drained, and so that's when I would have to get into them like and explain to them, well, when I when I get stressed out, that I tick constantly. And even when I told people that, they would tell me that they didn't see me tick ever, so how would I be ticking? Or they would kind of emphasize their they wouldn't come out and say that it didn't seem like I ticked or that they didn't believe me, but sometimes I got that impression because they would say, well, I've never seen you done it, so I don't understand why it's so bad, or something like that. And that's really aggravating because a lot of times people don't see me tick, and I really don't like when people say that to me, but it's just something that I kind of let roll off my back because you have to. But because people don't see me ticking with my hands or with my feet or my toes inside my shoes or my stomach under a t-shirt like this. Like if you're not talking to me, you don't know that I'm ticking because I don't need to take the time to stop talking to let that tick out or to hold my breath while I tick. And a lot of that happened a lot, I think, when I was in high school or when I was in college, like, and working at the same time, because people didn't understand the difficulty of juggling the two on top of having Tourette syndrome. Because it got so difficult, just about all 6 years of college, I did have to be on medication. And if you watched my other videos and saw my video about medication, you'll know that that was extremely difficult for me to be on it for so long. I hated that it brought me to that point, but without it, I would have never survived college. I thought about dropping out multiple times, and I was very, very serious. I had a teacher tell me that I was not good at what I went to school for. She told me that I was a bad writer, and it really, really crushed me. And of course, my tics skyrocketed from there. And now every single time that I go to write something, because I'm trying to write my book right now, I hear her words in the back of my head telling me that I'm not good enough. And I got to the point where sometimes she was my first class of the day when I actually went to school, where I would stay home just because, not very often, but a lot of the times I wouldn't go to her class because I was ticking so bad because I didn't want to be in her classroom because of how negatively she talked to me, to my face, and it was embarrassing for me, and so I didn't want to show up in her class again. And that day, I remember, I went to the library and I looked for any other major that I could do. I looked to see if I could just get an associate's degree instead of a bachelor's degree. I wanted to be done. I cried all night long, and it was awful. My tics were really bad that semester because I was so stressed out, because she made me so nervous and so self-conscious about every single thing I did for her class. And I just think that's really wrong, and I think that was a big problem of my college experience. When you get negative teachers like that telling you you're not good at something, and it has nothing to do with my Tourette's, I know, but it increased them at that time. It makes it really difficult to believe in yourself again, and I'm still working through that to this day, of not hearing her voice inside my head every time I try to write something, because I know that's just one opinion and I'm never going to have to see her ever again, so that's that. But that was one semester where it was really bad, and other semesters where I got really bad, I would have months at a time where it wouldn't stop. I'd be ticking like crazy, a million times worse than you see in these videos, and it was so hard. I asked my husband every single day if I could quit, and he is the only reason I got through it. Him and my parents pushing me and telling me to keep doing it. And I promise you, those of you out there doing the same thing right now who are struggling through college because they can't stop doing stuff like this, you can get through it, and I promise you, I hated college, but the moment I got that diploma, when I walk across the stage for graduation for my college degree, after everything I went through while going to college and all the struggles and all the people that look at you and say that you can't do it because if you have Tourette syndrome or because of any other reason, it felt amazing to prove them all wrong. It felt amazing to prove the statistics wrong, saying that those of us with disorders like we have can't do it. And it felt amazing to set an example for other people, because I had tears coming down my face when I got that diploma, because I wasn't going to do it. I was going to quit. I was going to let everything else win. I was going to let that teacher win, my Tourette's win, and my mind win, and telling me that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't able to do it. And now I have my diplomas framed. I'm writing a book right now despite what that teacher told me. And I've done stuff with my writing degree. I've had small things published on websites, nothing big or anything, but it's still a big deal to me. And I promise all of you watching, you can do it. It's so hard, and I know it's so hard, and it's hard to accept medication when you need the help, but it's possible, and I promise you can do it. And I hope that was enough information about my college life. I'm sorry this video was so long. If there's any other questions you would like to know, please feel free to ask me. Don't forget to share this video and subscribe to my page. And don't forget to head on over to my Facebook page, as well as contacting this woman if you're interested about the television show. Until next time, bye guys.